Welcome. Take a deep breath, in through the nose, and gently out through the mouth. Today we're diving into something that often confuses people when they start practicing TRE, trauma release exercises. Many people ask, when my body tremors during TRE, what's actually releasing? Is it my muscles letting go? Is it the fascia? Or is it both? The answer is both, but they work in very different ways. And understanding that difference gives us a much deeper appreciation of how tremors in TRE can reset the nervous system, release old trauma, and change the way we experience our bodies. So in this session, we're going to explore what muscular release actually means, what fascia release is, and why it's different, how trauma, tension, and stored stress live in these tissues, what happens when tremors begin, how fascia and muscles interact with the autonomic nervous system, what this means for healing, regulation, and embodied safety. By the end, you'll understand not just what's happening when your body shakes, but also why it's such a powerful, natural mechanism for healing. Part 1, a quick refresher, what happens in TRE. TRE, or trauma release exercises, is a method developed by Dr. David Berceli. Through a sequence of simple movements, the body is guided into a natural state of neurogenic tremoring, gentle, involuntary shaking that originates deep in the body, often in the psoas and surrounding core muscles. These tremors are not forced. They are not performance. They are part of a very old biological reflex, the same reflex animals use after a stressful event. When animals escape danger, they shake. Not because they're afraid, but because their nervous systems are discharging excess energy. This restores their baseline, their natural state of regulation. Humans have the same reflex, but in modern culture, we've been trained to suppress it. TRE gives the body permission to do what it already knows how to do: release. But here's what's important to understand. These tremors don't just release emotion. They don't just shake away stress. They happen inside a living structure, a body made up of muscles, fascia, connective tissue, nerves, blood, lymph, and breath. And two of the most important structures in this process are the muscular system and the fascial system. Part 2, muscular release, the contract relax mechanism. Let's start with the muscles. Muscles are contractile tissues. Their primary job is movement, contraction, and relaxation. Skeletal muscles attach to bones and allow voluntary movement, walking, running, lifting. When we encounter stress or threat, the sympathetic nervous system activates. This increases tension in key muscle groups: the psoas, quadriceps, hamstrings, shoulders and jaw, neck and lower back. This isn't random. These muscle groups are part of our fight, flight, or freeze survival patterns. Imagine you're startled. Your shoulders rise, your abdomen tightens, your legs prepare to run or brace. This is muscular activation. If the danger passes, the nervous system signals the muscles to relax again. But if the stress is chronic or the threat was overwhelming, the contraction can become persistent. The muscles never fully let go. They stay slightly contracted, sometimes for years. This can lead to physical symptoms like chronic tightness or pain, shallow breathing, a sense of always being on edge, fatigue or restlessness. In TRE, when tremors start, they often begin in these major muscle groups. The shaking is the body's way of completing the interrupted cycle of contraction and relaxation. This is muscular release. On a simple level, the nervous system is re-establishing its capacity to let go. But something deeper happens at the same time in the fascia. Part 3, fascia, the body's web of memory. Fascia is different from muscle. It is a connective tissue, a thin, strong, flexible web that wraps around every muscle, organ, nerve, and bone in the body. It is continuous, meaning there are no breaks in this web. From the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, It's all connected. Think of fascia as a living fabric. Where muscles contract and relax, fascia transmits force, holds shape, and remembers tension patterns. Fascia has a few important properties. It's highly innervated, rich with sensory nerves. It responds to mechanical stress over time. It can become stuck or dehydrated through trauma, injury, or chronic stress. It communicates directly with the autonomic nervous system. Fascia is sometimes called the organ of structure and feeling. When we're overwhelmed, the body often tightens not only at the muscular level but through fascial lines. These lines create patterns that can persist long after the original event. For example, a child who grows up in fear may learn to contract the diaphragm, curl the shoulders, and brace the hips. This posture becomes habitual. Over time, the fascia reorganizes itself to support this shape. Even if, as an adult, the threat is gone, the fascia remembers. It holds the story of the body's survival. Part 4. Muscular release versus fascial release. How they feel different. This is where it gets interesting. Muscular release during TRE often feels like quick, rhythmic tremors or shaking, clear contractions and relaxations, tremors starting in the legs, core, or lower back, a sense of warmth, fatigue, or relief afterward. This release is neuromuscular. It happens when the brainstem allows involuntary shaking to discharge built-up sympathetic charge. Fascial release, on the other hand, can feel quite different. Slower, wave-like movements, twisting, stretching, or spiraling sensations, tremors moving unpredictably through different parts of the body, emotional sensations surfacing, sometimes subtle, sometimes strong, a sense of unwinding, melting, or deep opening. While muscles release in bursts, fascia releases in flows. It's not about contraction and relaxation, it's about reorganization. Fascial release often happens after the initial tremors have softened. The nervous system feels safe enough to go deeper. Tension, patterns stored in the connective tissue, begin to unravel. Part 5. What science says about fascia and stress. Research into fascia has exploded over the past 15 years. For a long time, fascia was seen as passive wrapping, just the stuff around the muscles. But modern fascia research, led by scientists like Dr. Robert Schlape, has shown that fascia is alive, sensory, and plays a major role in autonomic regulation. Some key findings. Fascia contains more sensory nerve endings than muscles. It can contract in response to stress hormones like adrenaline. Chronic stress can cause fascia to stiffen, lose elasticity, and restrict movement. Gentle movement, tremors, and slow stretching can help rehydrate and reorganize fascial tissue. This means that when we tremor, we're not just shaking out muscles, we're also affecting fascia directly. The gentle, wave-like movements create a kind of internal massage that helps release stored tension in the body's connective network. Part 6. Trauma, fascia, and the nervous system. Let's tie this together with trauma. When something overwhelming happens and the body can't fight or flee, it often enters freeze or shut down. In that state, both muscles and fascia tighten to create a sense of containment. This is why trauma can feel like being frozen, physically and emotionally. Over time, those patterns become the body's new normal. Fascia adapts to this tension and becomes less flexible. Muscles stay partially activated, even at rest. And the nervous system keeps scanning for threat. TRE offers a way to unwind this loop from the bottom up. First, the muscular tremors help discharge the high alert state, the fight or flight activation. Then, fascial release allows the body to reorganize the deeper, holding patterns created by long-term stress or trauma. This is why some people say their TRE sessions change over time. Early sessions feel shaky and intense in the legs and core, while later sessions feel more fluid, full-bodied, and emotional. That shift is the transition from mostly muscular release to fascial and nervous system repatterning. Part 7. How to recognize which one you're experiencing. Let's make this practical. If we tremor during TRE, how do we know whether we're experiencing muscular release, fascial release, or both? Here are some indicators. Muscular release signs. Fast, rhythmic tremors, mainly in the thighs, pelvis, or lower back. Feels physical and mechanical. Tremors begin quickly after fatigue. Often ends with tiredness or calm. Fascial release signs. Slow, wave-like movements. Tremors travel unpredictably through the body. Twisting or stretching sensations. Emotional or subtle energetic shifts. A sense of spaciousness afterward. Both. Tremors begin fast and rhythmic, then become slower and more flowing. You may notice parts of the body engaging that weren't involved before. Breath deepens naturally. A sense of integration rather than just discharge. Neither is better. They are simply different layers of the same process. Part 8. The role of the psoas, the bridge between muscle, fascia, and survival. If we talk about TRE, we must mention the psoas muscle. The psoas is a deep core muscle that connects the lumbar spine to the femur. It plays a central role in posture, breathing, and most importantly, the fight or flight response. When we experience danger, the psoas contracts reflexively. It's like a coiled spring ready to run or brace. The psoas is embedded in fascia, surrounded by a sheath that connects into the diaphragm above and the pelvic floor below. This makes it a structural bridge between the muscular and fascial systems. When tremors start here, they can spread throughout the entire body. This is why many TRE sessions begin in the legs and hips, then ripple upward. Releasing the psoas is not just a physical act. It signals the nervous system. It's safe now. Part 9. How fascia holds emotional memory. Many people are surprised when, during a TRE session, they start to cry or feel unexpected emotions. This is all in the head. Fascia is richly innervated with sensory neurons that communicate directly with the limbic system, the part of the brain involved in emotion. When fascial tension is released, these old emotional imprints can surface. This can feel like sudden waves of sadness or relief, laughter, tears, or trembling in the jaw and throat, a sense of something old letting go. Peter Levine, the founder of somatic experiencing, often speaks of the body completing old defensive responses, shaking, twisting, trembling, and how emotion naturally follows. In TRE, this is a sign that the body is reorganizing, not breaking down. Part 10. Breathing and fascia release. Breathing is key to both muscular and fascial release. When we hold the breath, something many people do unconsciously during stress, fascia stiffens. The diaphragm locks up. The psoas tightens further. When tremors begin and the breath starts to deepen, we are creating a feedback loop of safety. Breath signals the nervous system that it's safe. Safety allows more tremors. Tremors soften fascia. Fascia release deepens the breath even more. That loop is one of the most beautiful aspects of TRE. It's self-regulating. You don't need to force anything. The body leads. Part 11. How to support fascia release during TRE. If we want to support fascial release gently and naturally during our TRE practice, here are some principles. Slow down. Fascial release often happens later in the session. Give it time. Don't control the tremors. Allow the movements to be messy, organic, unpredictable. Stay present with sensations. Bring your attention into the body. Notice textures, movements, feelings. Breathe deeply. The breath is your anchor. It helps the nervous system trust the process. Safety first. If emotions arise, remind yourself, this is my body letting go. If needed, pause, ground, or stop. Repeat over time. Fascia holds patterns that developed over years. It releases in layers, not all at once. Part 12. How muscular and fascia release affect the nervous system. Muscular release discharges sympathetic activation, the body, fight or flight energy. This often brings immediate relief, shaking, sweating, yawning, a wave of calm. Fascial release, however, works on longer timelines. It changes the way the body holds itself. It reorganizes posture, breathing, and the internal sense of safety. This leads to greater resilience, the ability to respond flexibly to stress instead of getting stuck in it. Where muscular release is like taking pressure off the system, fascial release is like rewiring the architecture. Part 13, Reflections, how this shows up in real life. Let's reflect for a moment. Have you ever had a TRE session or another somatic experience where you trembled in your legs, then suddenly felt warmth spread through your chest? That's often the fascia letting go. Have you ever experienced your body moving in slow, spiraling waves without you directing it? That's fascia reorganizing itself. Have you noticed old emotions rising as your body unwinds? That's the deep tissue of memory coming to the surface. This is why TRE can feel so different from stretching or working out. We're not just moving muscles, we're allowing the body to remember safety. Part 14, A word on safety and support. Fascia release can bring up powerful sensations and emotions. While for many people this is gentle and empowering, for others, especially those with trauma histories, it can be intense. It's important to work at your own pace. Always have grounding strategies. Consider working with a certified TRE provider if needed. Remember that release can happen gradually over time. The body has its own intelligence. It won't take you where you're not ready to go, as long as you listen. Part 15, Breathing practice, optional pause. Let's take a few breaths together, not to force anything, but to remind ourselves of what safety feels like. Inhale slowly through the nose. Feel the belly and ribs expand. Hold gently, and exhale through the mouth. Soft, long, slow. Feel the weight of your body supported by the ground beneath you. This is the space where release happens, not through control, but through trust. Part 16, Where the science meets the mystery. Even though fascia science has advanced quickly, there's still something profoundly mysterious about what happens during tremors. Many practitioners describe feeling like their bodies are doing their own work, as if something older and wiser is in charge. From a scientific perspective, we can point to neuromuscular reflexes, vagal tone shifts, fascial reorganization, and parasympathetic activation. But from a human perspective, what we're really experiencing is the body remembering how to heal itself. This is the same intelligence that allows a gazelle to shake after running from a lion. The same intelligence that regulates heartbeat, breath, and digestion without our conscious control. When we stop resisting, this intelligence flows again. Part 17, Common misconceptions. Let's clear up a few misunderstandings about TRE and fascial release. It's just shaking out the muscles. No, muscles are just the beginning. The fascial system plays a huge role. It should look the same for everyone. No, everyone's fascial patterns are unique. Tremors can look and feel different. More shaking means better release. Not true. Sometimes the deepest release is subtle and slow. If I don't feel emotional, I'm doing it wrong. No, emotional release is just one possible layer. Physical reorganization is happening regardless. Part 18, Integration, what happens after release. After a session of TRE that involves muscular and fascial release, people often report feeling lighter or taller, a sense of internal spaciousness, softer breathing, emotional clarity or calm, better sleep, gentle fatigue. This is the nervous system integrating the work. It's important after these sessions too. Drink water, fascia needs hydration. Rest if needed. Journal any emotions or memories that surfaced. Trust the body's timing. Fascial patterns didn't form overnight. They release over time, layer by layer. Part 19, how fascia release impacts long-term healing. Over weeks and months of regular TRE practice, many people notice not just reduced stress, but changes in posture, breathing, and emotional resilience. Fascia is a long-term memory system. When its patterns shift, the nervous system experiences itself differently. Old survival postures soften. People often say, "I feel like I'm finally living in my body again." This is not a metaphor. This is fascia and muscle aligning with a regulated nervous system. Part 20, closing reflections. We've covered a lot in this session. We've explored what muscular release is, what fascia is and why it matters, how trauma shapes both, how TRE can help unwind these layers, how to recognize and support the process in your own body. If there's one thing to take away, it's this. Your body knows how to release. Muscles let go of immediate survival charge. Fascia unwinds the deeper story. We don't need to force it. We just need to create safety, listen, and allow. Take one more slow, deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the subtle movements inside your body, even in stillness. This is the intelligence of your tissues. This is healing. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. Chinese proverb. Thank you for taking this time to explore your body's deeper wisdom. May this knowledge help you approach TRE not as a performance, but as a conversation with your own living structure. You are not broken. Your body is remembering. And with each tremor, it's finding its way home.